The next function we're going to look at in pre-calculus is the rational function. So this is a function that is a fraction of polynomials. There are multiple pieces to rational functions such as wholes, x and y intercepts, asymptotes. The only way we can find all of those things algebraically is by learning how to factor and simplify rational functions. So we should already know the steps behind factoring. So we're going to use those same steps to factor the top part of our rational function and the bottom part. So to do that, we can write equals because when we factor, we're not changing the equation at all. We are simply writing it a different way. And anytime we factor, we always put two parentheses. And because this is a 1x squared, we're going to start each of our parentheses with x and x. Now, taking a look at this piece of the function, when we are factoring, we want to multiply to 6 and we want to add to -5. So first, let's look at multiplying to 6. So let's think of the factors of 6. So we can do a factor tree starting with 6. So 1 and 6 are two factors of 6. And then we have 2 and 3. Those are our other factors. So now we want to add to -5. So anytime we're multiplying to a positive and adding to a negative, the only way we will multiply to a positive with a negative number is if both are negative. So in our parentheses, both are going to be negative numbers. So now let's test out our factors. If I have a -1 plus a -6, that gives me -7, which is not my middle number. If I have -2 plus -3, that's -5. So that is my middle number. So those are the numbers we would use in our parentheses. So that's the top. We're going to do the same thing for the bottom. So looking at the bottom, we have -18 um, that we're multiplying to, and then we're adding to a +3. So let's first look at 18. We need to figure out what are the factors of 18. So we have 1 and 18. Another factor would be 2 and 9. So we have 2 and 9. And there's a third pair of factors, so 3 and 6. So now if we look at these signs, so we're multiplying to a negative, adding to a positive. Anytime we're multiplying to a negative, it means one sign needs to be negative and one sign needs to be positive. That's the only way we can multiply to a negative. So one is negative, one is positive. And now we need to go through our factors and test out. So -1 plus 18 gives me +17, which is not our middle number. If we try the other way, -18 plus 1, that gives me -17, still not my middle number. -2 plus 9 gives me +7, not my middle number. -9 plus 2 gives me -7, once again, not my middle number. -3 plus 6 gives me +3, and that is my middle number. So -3 and +6 would be the factors for the bottom. So now we want to look and see if there are any factors that cancel out. We can only cancel full factors. So we can't just cancel an x and an x. It has to be the entire parenthesis. So here I see an x minus 3 and an x minus 3. So these would cancel out. And so this is that step of simplifying. When we simplify, it's writing our equation without any of those factors that cancel. So this is what we are left with, x minus 2 and x plus 6. Sometimes I like to write in the parentheses because we cannot cancel anything unless it's the entire factor. So unless it's an entire x plus 6, we can't cancel it out from here. You cannot cancel out 2 and 6. So you can't make this 1/3. That doesn't work. It has to be the entire thing. So here we have three sets or three different ways of writing a rational function. We have the unfactored. So this is before we factored. We have the factored and we have the simplified. So unfactored, then we factor, and then we simplify. For this example down at the bottom here, so this is a different type of factoring. It's by greatest common factor. So on top, there's nothing to factor with an x, but on bottom, they both have a factor of 2 in common. So if we pull out a 2 and divide 2x by 2, we get x. We divide 2 by 2, we get 1. So this is my factored form of the equation. Nothing cancels, so this becomes not only the factored, but also the simplified. So sometimes your factored is your simplified equation. So you can have your factored be your simplified if nothing cancels out. So it is possible that once you factor, if there's nothing to be simplified, now this is your factored and your simplified equation.